Atlanta was recently named the #1 place to live in the entire United States. You probably watched a video about that just the other day on the channel. However, I feel like so many people really expected when the slowdown came this year, people would stop moving to Georgia, and well, that just hasn't happened. So why are people continuing to flock to Georgia in 2023? Let's talk about that today. Hi, I'm Ashley Lazarian, your local realtor selling the suburbs of Atlanta for the past 18 years, helping people like you make a move. In 2020, during the pandemic, Georgia saw a huge influx of people moving in from all over the country, the world even. And it was because we were open. Kids were going back to school in the fall, shopping was back to normal, restaurants were open. There's endless things to do here, inside and out. And compared to many places in the US, Georgia is far more affordable. I think many people really expected that once we went back to some sort of normalcy, things were going to change and people were going to stop moving here, and maybe some of them even moved back to wherever they had come from originally, moved back home. And while things have slowed down, there's no longer that sense of panic buying or urgency. But it's not been nearly as much as I think people anticipated. This has left a lot of questions. What does housing and growth look like moving forward here in Georgia? Georgia has been home to numerous Fortune 500 companies throughout the years, but the last few years that number grew even more. Currently, Georgia has over 450 Fortune 500 companies and 32 Fortune 1000 companies. Businesses love the tax breaks and benefits that Georgia affords them. And with the tech and movie industries growing year over year, Georgia has one of the lowest unemployment rates throughout the country. With the rise in the work from home era, we saw a lot of city dwellers making the moves to the suburbs because the commute no longer mattered. This also brought many companies to consider the size of their office space. This left a lot of commercial real estate vacant, and it was a concern as to what that would look like long term. But leave it to Georgia to always pivot in a positive way. We've been seeing more and more commercial buildings turned into residential dwelling, which helps make great use of these buildings, as well as curbs the painful lack of inventory that we've been experiencing here in Georgia. The last couple of years, we were seeing multiple offers on a home. I'm talking 20, 30 offers, waiving all contingencies, waiving your right to inspect or appraise a home. It just really got out of hand. As of right now, inventory is still low here in Georgia, mostly because of the rise in interest rates. A large amount of people own their home outright, and another large amount have loans with interest rates below 4%. It just doesn't make sense for them to sell their home and get into a new loan at 6 or 7%. This makes it difficult for buyers. There's still competition, and you're gonna have to act quickly. And thankfully, in most cases, we're not having that sense of panicked buying that we experienced the last couple of years. And I've noticed with builders, they're finally able to catch up on the droves of people the last couple of years and are offering some incentives like closing costs or down payment assistance. So there is opportunity. Affordability has long been a reason that people are drawn to Georgia. It's much more affordable than places like LA, DC, Chicago. And unlike many areas throughout the nation right now, Georgia homeowners are still gaining equity, even if it is only at 3 to 5% compared to the past couple of years where it was at abnormal rates. Even with inflation, the cost of living here in Georgia is still below the national average. Living here in Georgia my whole life, you really would think that I've seen it all. And in some ways, I guess I have: aquarium, Coca-Cola museum. But it's amazing to me when I have clients that move here from out of state and they really see everything with a fresh pair of eyes, how many amazing places they help me discover. Of course, when you first get here, I'm gonna share some great places with you, like 2+2 in Suwaneega, or Crave Pie in Duluth, and True Food Kitchen in Alpharetta. But it never fails. As you get settled in, you start exploring all we have to offer here. The food scene is remarkable, and my favorite thing about it is the diversity. The speakeasies you find out about through word of mouth, rooftop bars, and pop-ups. It's impossible to be bored here. Quality of life is what you make it, right? But having affordability, job opportunities, lower taxes, high-ranking schools, this all significantly plays a part. I might be a bit biased since I've lived here my whole life and I've chosen to raise my family here, but there's a reason my husband and I chose to never leave. We are 45 minutes to the mountains, 3 hours to the beach. There are multiple lakes within an hour's drive where we enjoy skiing and just enjoying life and some vitamin D. Food truck Fridays on Friday nights and the farmer's market every Saturday morning. There are just so many ways to get outside, enjoy my kids as they grow up, and really take in my community. I know inflation, interest rates, these are the things that are on everybody's mind right now, but people are still moving to Georgia daily, regardless of what the interest rate is today. And that is going to continue to spur the growth here. The diversity and sense of community you get here in Georgia, well, from what I hear from those moving in, it's hard to find. So if you're looking to make a move here to Georgia, or maybe you already live here and looking to move within Georgia, my team and I would love to be a resource. You can reach me at ashley@myhaventeam.com. Till then, I'll see you next week.